In the bustling spaceport of Gavania Prime, amidst the hum of starships and the distant chatter of 1,000 alien languages, Ellara stood out not for her flamboyance, but for her subtlety. With her blonde hair cascading in gentle waves over the shoulders of her pristine white spacesuit, she appeared almost ethereal, a stark contrast to the rugged and chaotic backdrop of the port. Ellara was new to this life of adventure, her eyes wide with both apprehension and wonder. Though her demeanour was shy, there was a flicker of passion in her deep blue eyes, a silent promise of the fire that burned within. Ellara had always dreamt of traversing the stars, but her journey into the unknown had truly begun when she received a cryptic message just days ago. The message spoke of an ancient artifact, hidden on a distant and uncharted planet, which held secrets untold. As she navigated through the spaceport, her gaze lingered on the diverse array of beings that populated it. Traders bartering in tongues she couldn't understand, travellers laughing boisterously, and rogues casting sly, calculating glances. Among them, her eyes met with those of a tall, dark-haired stranger. His gaze was intense, a smouldering ember that seemed to pierce through her. Elara's heart fluttered momentarily, an unspoken connection hanging in the air before she hurriedly looked away, a faint blush colouring her cheeks. Reaching her modest spacecraft, the Dawn Chaser, Elara paused to admire it. It wasn't the largest or the most sophisticated ship in the port, but it was hers. Its sleek design and polished hull gleamed under the port's artificial lights. She ran her hand along its side, feeling a surge of pride and excitement. Inside, she was greeted by the soft synthetic voice of Corvix, her AI navigator. "Good evening, Elara. All systems are operational, and we are ready to depart upon your command." "Thank you, Corvix," she replied, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. She settled into the pilot's seat, her hands gently caressing the controls. This was where she felt most at peace, surrounded by the technology that would carry her across the cosmos. As the Dawn Chaser lifted off, leaving the hustle of Gavania Prime behind, Ellara couldn't help but feel a twinge of loneliness amidst the excitement. The vastness of space could be both exhilarating and isolating, but this journey was hers, a path she had chosen, and she was determined to follow it wherever it led. The stars stretched out before her, a canvas of infinite possibilities. Elara's mind wandered back to the mysterious stranger at the spaceport, his gaze that seemed to see right through her. There was something about him, a sense of intrigue and danger that both frightened and excited her. She shook her head, trying to dispel the thoughts. This was no time for distractions. She had a mission to focus on. Yet, as the stars blurred into the streaks of hyperspace travel, Ellara couldn't shake the feeling that her journey would be filled with more than just the pursuit of ancient artifacts. There was a story waiting to be written among the stars, a tale of adventure, discovery, and perhaps even romance. But for now, the mysteries of the galaxy awaited, and Ellara was ready to uncover them. The Dawn Chaser cut through the cosmos like a gleaming arrow, leaving trails of stardust in its wake. Inside, Ellara sat enveloped in the soft hum of the engines, her gaze fixed on the mesmerizing dance of stars and nebulae outside her viewport. She was on her way to Ellara, a planet whispered about in the farthest corners of the galaxy, known for its breathtaking vistas and enigmatic history. Elara's white spacesuit, fitted perfectly to her form, was a constant reminder of the seriousness of her mission. It was equipped with the latest technology, including a compact life support system and a holographic interface for easy access to the Dawn Chaser's controls and navigation systems. She appreciated its sleek design, feeling both protected and empowered within its confines. As she adjusted her course, Corvix, her AI companion, chimed in with a gentle reminder. "Elara, remember to adjust the shield modulators when we enter Elara's atmosphere. It's known for its turbulent weather patterns." "Got it, Corvix," she replied, her fingers deftly moving over the control panel. Elara had grown fond of Corvix's presence. His voice, though artificial, carried a warmth and reassurance that often eased the solitude of space travel. Elara's thoughts drifted to the mysterious stranger she had encountered at the spaceport. His intense gaze had stirred something within her, a curious blend of attraction and intrigue. She wondered if their paths would ever cross again, if fate would intertwine their stories in the vast tapestry of the galaxy. Shaking off the daydream, Elara focused on the task at hand. She had always been fascinated by the tales of ancient civilizations and the mysteries they left behind. The artifact on Ellara, rumoured to hold untold powers, was exactly the kind of discovery she had dreamed of uncovering. As Ellara came into view, a jewel against the backdrop of space, Elara's heart raced with anticipation. The planet was a vibrant mosaic of blues and greens, with swirling white clouds obscuring its surface. She initiated the descent, her hands steady on the controls as the dawn chaser pierced through the atmosphere. The turbulence was more intense than she had expected. The ship shook violently, buffeted by the powerful winds. Elara's training kicked in. She remained calm, adjusting the shield modulators and stabilizers to navigate through the storm. Finally, they broke through the clouds, revealing the stunning landscape of Ellara below. Vast oceans sparkled under the sun, intersected by sprawling continents adorned with lush forests and towering mountains. Ellara found a safe place to land near the coordinates she had received. The dawn chaser touched down gently on a grassy plain, surrounded by the wild beauty of Ellara. As she stepped out of her ship, the air filled her lungs with the sweet scent of alien flora. She couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the untamed majesty of the planet. It was a stark contrast to the controlled environment of her spacecraft and the bustling spaceports she was used to. Ellara secured her suit and prepared for exploration. She carried with her a sense of purpose and a burning curiosity about what secrets Ellara held. Little did she know, the planet was not as uninhabited as she thought, and she was about to encounter beings and challenges that would test her in ways she never imagined. As she ventured forth, the mysterious artifact and the unknown adventures that lay ahead beckoned her. Elara stepped into the wilderness of Ellara, her heart pounding with excitement and a hint of fear. The story of her grand adventure was just beginning to unfold. Elara trekked through the lush undergrowth of Ellara, her senses heightened by the unfamiliar sights and sounds of this alien world. The landscape was a riot of colours, with vibrant plants and bizarre, chirping creatures that watched her curiously from the treetops. Her white spacesuit, now speckled with the greens and browns of the forest, served as both armour and anomaly in this verdant world. The coordinates she had received led her to what appeared to be an ancient ruin, half swallowed by the forest. Massive stone structures, covered in moss and ivy, hinted at a once great civilization. Elara's heart raced as she realized she might be the first from her world to set eyes on these relics in centuries. As she explored the ruins, Corvix's voice crackled through her suit's communicator. Elara, scans indicate that these structures are over 3,000 years old. They align with the legends of the Lumarian Empire, a civilization that mysteriously vanished from galactic records. Elara was fascinated. The Lumarian Empire had always been a subject of speculation and myth among historians and adventurers alike. To be standing amidst its remnants was the kind of experience she had always dreamed of. Her exploration was abruptly interrupted by a soft sound. Turning, Elara saw a figure emerging from the shadows of the ruins. It was a Zelarian, a member of the planet's native species, known for their peaceful nature but fierce protectiveness of their world. The being was tall, with iridescent skin that shimmered in the dappled sunlight, and eyes that held centuries of wisdom. "Who are you, off-worlder, and why have you come to Ellara?" the Zelarian asked, their voice a melodic harmony that seemed to resonate with the very air of the planet. Elara introduced herself and explained her mission. The Zelarian listened intently, their expression unreadable. Finally they spoke. "The artifact you seek is deeply intertwined with the fate of our world. It is part of a prophecy that foretells either salvation or ruin. Elara's interest was piqued. "A prophecy. Can you tell me more?" The Solarian hesitated, then motioned for her to follow. They led her deeper into the ruins, where ancient holograms sprang to life, illustrating the story of the artifact. It was a crystal of immense power, capable of bending the fabric of reality itself. The Lumarians had hidden it away, fearing its potential for destruction. As the tale unfolded, Elara felt the weight of her quest grow heavier. She was no longer simply an adventurer in search of ancient relics. She was now a key player in a story that spanned millennia. The Solarian's voice brought her back to the present. The Krylock Dominion has also learned of the artifact. They will stop at nothing to claim it for their own nefarious purposes. Elara's thoughts drifted to the mysterious stranger at the spaceport. Could he have been an agent of the Krylock Dominion? The possibility sent a shiver down her spine, mingling fear with a strange sense of excitement. Determined to protect the artifact, Elara thanked the Solarian for their guidance. She knew she had to act quickly. The fate of Ellara, and perhaps the entire galaxy, could depend on her next moves. As she left the ruins, the setting sun cast long shadows across the landscape, turning the forest into a place of mystery and enchantment. Elara felt a connection to Ellara, a bond forged by the shared secret of the ancient artifact. She knew that her journey was just beginning, and that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and discovery. With a resolve strengthened by the knowledge of what was at stake, Elara set off into the twilight of Ellara, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in her quest to find the artifact and protect its secrets. As night fell on Ellara, Elara navigated through the dense forest under the light of its two moons. The alien landscape, bathed in a soft, eerie glow, seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Her suit's night vision helped her find her way, but it was her instincts that told her she was not alone. Suddenly she heard rustling from the underbrush. Preparing for confrontation, Elara was surprised when a humanoid figure stepped out, hands raised in a peaceful gesture. It was a man, rugged in appearance, with a confident smirk playing on his lips. He introduced himself as Dex, a rogue pilot who had been monitoring her since her arrival. His casual demeanor and roguish charm were disarming, and Elara found herself both wary and intrigued. Dex explained that he too was interested in the Lumarian artifact, but his motivations were personal. He sought to clear his family's name, which had been wrongly tarnished by the Krylock Dominion. Elara, sensing an ally in Dex, decided to team up with him, albeit cautiously. Their journey led them to a hidden valley where they encountered Tarn, a wise old alien who claimed to be the last of the Lumarian seers. Tarn's species, with their elongated limbs and glowing eyes, were thought to be extinct. He spoke in riddles and parables, but his knowledge of the artifact was unparalleled. Tarn revealed that the artifact was locked within a temple that only a true-hearted seeker could enter. He spoke of a key, hidden in the heart of a labyrinth deep within the forest. Elara and Dex listened intently, understanding that their quest was about to become even more challenging. As they prepared to leave, Tarn offered a cryptic warning. "Beware the shadows, for not all is as it seems." His words echoed in Elara's mind, a foreboding omen that sent chills down her spine. Elara, Dex, and Tarn set out towards the labyrinth. The journey was treacherous, filled with natural hazards and puzzles that tested their wits and resolve. Elara found herself relying on Dex more than she had anticipated. His quick thinking and dexterity saved them on more than one occasion, and a bond began to form between them. One night, as they camped under the stars, Dex shared stories of his adventures and his wrongful persecution by the Krylock Dominion. Elara listened, captivated by his tales and the depth of his character. There was a vulnerability beneath his confident exterior that she found endearing. The following day they reached the entrance to the labyrinth. It was an imposing structure, its walls covered in Lumarian glyphs. Tarn explained that the labyrinth was designed to test the heart and mind of those who dared to enter. As they navigated the labyrinth's twisting paths, Ellara felt a growing connection with Dex. His presence was comforting, and she found herself glancing his way more often than necessary. The tension between them was palpable, a mixture of admiration, trust, and an unspoken attraction. After overcoming numerous challenges, they finally found the key, a luminescent crystal that pulsed with an inner light. But as they reached for it, the labyrinth began to collapse around them. Racing against time, they made a daring escape, barely making it out alive. As they emerged from the labyrinth, panting and exhilarated, Elara and Dex shared a look of triumph and relief. In that moment, their bond solidified, and Elara knew she had found not just an ally, but a partner in this quest. With the key in their possession and the path to the temple clear, Elara, Dex, and Tarn prepared for the next phase of their journey. But Elara couldn't shake Tarn's warning from her mind. She knew that the true test of their quest was yet to come, and that the shadows might hold more than just secrets. With the key to the Lumarian temple in their possession, Elara, Dex, and Tarn made their way back through the forest of Zallara. The air was thick with anticipation, and Elara could feel the weight of the mission pressing upon her. However, the presence of Dex, now not just an ally but a companion, provided a sense of comfort and confidence. As they approached the clearing where the Dawn Chaser was parked, they were suddenly ambushed. Agents of the Krylok Dominion, having tracked them to Zallara, appeared from the shadows, their blasters drawn. The tranquil beauty of the forest was shattered by the sounds of laser fire and shouts. Reacting quickly, Dex pulled Elara behind a fallen tree trunk, shielding her with his body. Their eyes met in the chaos, a silent communication of trust and determination passing between them. Tarn, using his ancient Lumarian knowledge, created a diversion that allowed them to sprint towards the ship. The race to the Dawn Chaser was a blur of adrenaline. Elara, with the key securely in her suit's pocket, piloted the ship with remarkable skill, evading the blasts from the Krylok ships that had now appeared in the skies. Dex manned the ship's defense systems, his calm demeanor under pressure a stark contrast to the intense situation. As they broke through the atmosphere and into the openness of space, the chase intensified. The Krylok ships were relentless, but the Dawn Chaser was agile and fast. Elara's heart pounded in her chest, her focus unwavering as she maneuvered through the barrage of fire. In a daring move, Elara piloted them through a dense asteroid field, using the floating rocks as cover. The Krylok ships, less agile and more cumbersome, struggled to follow. It was a risky maneuver, but it paid off. They emerged from the other side, leaving their pursuers behind, lost in the maze of asteroids. With the immediate danger gone, the adrenaline that had fueled them began to wane. Elara turned to Dex, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. In that moment, all the unspoken tension and attraction that had been building between them came to the surface. Dex reached out, gently cupping her face in his hands. He looked into her eyes, his own reflecting a depth of emotion that words couldn't convey. Slowly, he leaned in, and their lips met in a kiss that was both a celebration of their escape and an acknowledgement of the bond they had formed. It was a kiss filled with the promise of something more, something profound and unexplored. As they parted, the intensity of the moment lingered. Dex pulled Elara into a warm embrace, a cuddle that provided comfort and reassurance. In his arms, Elara felt a sense of safety and belonging. It was a rare moment of peace and intimacy in the midst of chaos. The Dawn Chaser continued its journey through the stars, carrying them towards the next phase of their adventure. Elara and Dex, now closer than ever, knew that the challenges ahead would be daunting. But in that moment, they allowed themselves the luxury of basking in the warmth of their newfound connection, a glimmer of light in the vastness of space. As they cuddled, looking out at the star-studded expanse, Elara felt a sense of completeness. The quest for the Lumarian artifact was not just a journey across the galaxy. It was a journey of the heart, bringing her closer to herself and to the rogue pilot who had become her partner in every sense of the word. After the exhilarating escape from the Krylok Dominion's clutches, the Dawn Chaser, with Elara, Dex and Tarn aboard, approached the coordinates of the hidden Lumarian temple. The planet's surface below was a tapestry of dense jungles and towering mountains, with the temple located in a secluded valley, shrouded by mist and mystery. Elara's heart was still fluttering from the kiss and cuddle she shared with Dex. The warmth of the moment lingered, creating a comforting undercurrent amidst the anticipation of their mission. Yet, as they neared their destination, Elara refocused on the task at hand, her sense of responsibility taking precedence. Tarn guided them through ancient Lumarian codes and markers that had remained undecipherable to others. As they trekked through the verdant wilderness, the air grew heavy with the scent of moist earth and exotic flowers. The sounds of alien wildlife echoed around them, a symphony of the untamed planet. Finally, they stood before the temple. It was a grand structure, built from stone that shimmered with an otherworldly glow. Vines and moss clung to its surfaces, and strange symbols adorned its facade. The temple exuded an aura of power and mystery, and Elara could feel the hairs on the back of her neck stand up as they approached. Using the key they had retrieved from the labyrinth, they opened the temple's ancient door. It creaked and groaned, revealing a darkness that seemed to swallow the light. They stepped inside, their lights piercing the gloom. The interior of the temple was a labyrinthine network of corridors and chambers, each filled with artifacts and murals depicting the history and culture of the Lumarians. Tarn whispered ancient lore, explaining the significance of what they saw, his voice a bridge across time. As they delved deeper, they encountered a series of puzzles and traps, each more complex than the last. Elara's ingenuity and Dex's quick reflexes were put to the test. Working together, they navigated these challenges, their partnership strengthening with each hurdle they overcame. Finally, they reached the heart of the temple, a vast chamber where the artifact was said to be held. The chamber was dominated by a colossal statue of a Lumarian deity, its eyes set with gems that glittered in the dim light. In the center of the room on a pedestal lay the artifact, a crystal that pulsed with a light that seemed to beat like a heart. Its power was palpable, filling the chamber with a humming energy that resonated in their bones. As Elara reached out to touch the crystal, a deep understanding washed over her. The artifact was more than just a relic. It was a key to untold power, capable of bending the fabric of reality. It was both beautiful and terrifying in its potential. Suddenly, the chamber shook violently, dust and debris falling from the ceiling. They had triggered a security mechanism, and the temple was collapsing around them. Grabbing the artifact, Elara, Dex, and Tarn raced back through the corridors, dodging falling rocks and collapsing walls. Breathless and battered, they emerged from the temple just as it crumbled behind them, a cloud of dust billowing into the sky. They had secured the artifact, but at a great cost. The knowledge and history of the Lumarians were now buried under rubble. As they made their way back to the Dawn Chaser, Elara clutched the artifact tightly. She knew that its power was too great to be wielded carelessly. They needed to decide its fate wisely, for it could either be a beacon of hope or a harbinger of destruction. The journey back was quiet, each lost in their thoughts. Elara glanced at Dex, grateful for his presence. In the chaos of their quest, they had found something rare and precious in each other, a connection that transcended the ordinary. As they lifted off from the planet, Elara gazed at the artifact, its light reflecting in her eyes. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Their adventure was far from over, and the choices they made now would echo across the galaxy. The Dawn Chaser cut through the star-studded expanse of space, carrying Elara, Dex, and Tarn, along with the newly acquired Lumarian artifact. The atmosphere inside the ship was tense, the weight of their discovery hanging heavy in the air. Elara found herself often gazing at the artifact, its pulsing light a constant reminder of the power they now held. As they charted their course, Tarn revealed more about the prophecy linked to the artifact. It spoke of a time when the fabric of the universe would be threatened, and only the artifact's power could restore balance. However, The prophecy also warned of great peril if the artifact fell into the wrong hands. Their deliberations were suddenly interrupted by an alarm. The ship's sensors had detected an anomaly in one of the storage compartments. Dex and Ellara rushed to investigate, only to find a hidden transmitter. Someone had been sending their location to an unknown receiver. The revelation hit them like a wave of cold air. There was a spy among them. Elara's mind raced, her trust shattered. She looked at Dex and Tarn, the seed of doubt growing in her heart. The close bond she had formed with Dex now felt fragile, the fear of betrayal clouding her judgment. Dex, sensing her suspicion, protested his innocence. His eyes, filled with hurt and confusion, met Elara's. In that moment, Elara wanted to believe him, to trust the connection they had formed. But the evidence was hard to ignore. Tarn, who had been silent, spoke up. His voice was calm, yet it carried a weight that made them listen. "The spy is not among us," he said, his glowing eyes reflecting a deep sadness. "It is someone you have already encountered, Elara. Someone from your past." Elara's mind reeled as she recalled the mysterious stranger from the spaceport. The intense gaze, the unspoken connection. Could he have been the spy? The thought was a bitter pill to swallow. As they grappled with the betrayal, the Dawn Chaser was suddenly ambushed. Krylock Dominion ships, having tracked them down, surrounded them. The chase through space resumed, but this time the odds were heavily against them. Elara, determined not to let the artifact fall into the wrong hands, piloted the ship with a fierce resolve. Dex manned the weapons, fighting off their pursuers with skill and precision. Tarn used his knowledge to help navigate through treacherous space terrains. In the heat of the battle, Dex grabbed Elara's hand, a silent promise of solidarity. Despite the doubts and the chaos, their bond remained unbroken. Elara squeezed his hand back, a surge of affection and trust flowing between them. With a daring maneuver, Elara piloted the Dawn Chaser into a nebula, using its dense gas clouds as cover. The Krylock ships hesitated, giving them the chance to escape. As they emerged from the other side, the Krylock ships were nowhere in sight. Breathing a sigh of relief, Elara, Dex and Tarn gathered in the cockpit. The betrayal had been a harsh lesson, but it had also reinforced the strength of their alliance. They knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but they were ready to face it together. Elara held the artifact, its light now a symbol of hope and a reminder of the challenges they had overcome. They had a decision to make, how to protect the artifact and fulfill the prophecy without letting it fall into the wrong hands. As they set their course, Elara felt a renewed sense of purpose. The journey had been more than a quest for an artifact. It had been a journey of self-discovery, of building trust against all odds, and of finding strength in unity. The stars beckoned them forward, the vast galaxy a playground for their continued adventure. The Dawn Chaser, carrying its resilient crew and the ancient artifact, ventured into the unknown, ready for whatever lay ahead. The Dawn Chaser emerged from the nebula, scarred but unbroken like its crew. Elara, Dex and Tarn knew that time was running out. The Krylock Dominion was relentless, and they needed to make a decisive move. The artifact, now understood to be a key to an ancient Lumarian device capable of manipulating time, had to be either destroyed or hidden away where no one could abuse its power. The decision weighed heavily on them, especially Elara, who felt the burden of her responsibility more than ever. Tarn suggested they seek the Council of the Council of Elders on Tenebris, a secluded planet known for its wise and neutral inhabitants. Elara agreed, seeing it as their best chance to find a solution. As they journeyed to Tenebris, Elara and Dex found comfort in each other's presence. The challenges they had faced together had forged a deep bond between them, one that went beyond friendship. One evening, as the ship glided through the silent expanse of space, they found themselves alone in the cockpit, the tension and unspoken feelings between them palpable. Dex reached for Elara's hand, his touch gentle but firm. "Elara," he said softly, No matter what happens, I want you to know." His voice trailed off, but his eyes conveyed his feelings clearly. Ellara felt a rush of emotions, her heart racing. She had grown to trust and care for Dex deeply, his presence a source of strength and comfort. She moved closer to him, their faces inches apart. In a spontaneous moment, they shared a tender, passionate kiss, a culmination of the feelings that had been simmering between them. The moment was a brief escape from the reality of their situation, a reminder of the personal stakes in their galactic ordeal. They held each other, finding solace in the warmth and connection they shared. The next morning, as the Dawn Chaser approached Tenebris, Elara and Dex faced the day with renewed determination. Their encounter had strengthened their resolve, the bond between them a source of courage and hope. Upon landing, they were greeted by the Council of Elders, a group of wise beings who listened intently to their tale. The council deliberated for hours, eventually reaching a decision. The artifact must be used, one last time, to create a temporal anomaly that would erase its existence from all timelines, preventing anyone from ever using or misusing its power again. The decision was a risky one, as it required precise calculations and timing. A single mistake could have catastrophic consequences. Elara, Dex, and Tarn prepared for the most important mission of their lives, knowing that the fate of the galaxy rested in their hands. The Krylok Dominion, having tracked them to Tenebris, launched a full-scale attack as they set their plan into motion. A fierce battle ensued, with the Dawn Chaser and the Tenebris fleet fighting valiantly against the overwhelming forces of the Dominion. In the midst of the chaos, Elara and Dex worked together to activate the artifact. Their hands moved in unison, calibrating the device as Tarn guided them through the ancient Lumarian incantations. As the artifact activated, a brilliant light enveloped the ship, the fabric of reality bending around them. Time seemed to stand still, and then, with a flash, the artifact disintegrated, its power unleashed and then extinguished forever. The battle around them ceased abruptly, the Krylok ships disappearing as the temporal anomaly corrected the timelines. Silence fell over the galaxy, a peaceful stillness that had been absent for too long. Elara, Dex, and Tarn looked at each other, a mixture of exhaustion and relief in their eyes. They had done it. They had saved the galaxy from a fate worse than destruction. As they set course back to familiar space, Elara and Dex sat side by side, their future uncertain but their bond unbreakable. They had faced the impossible together, and in doing so had found something extraordinary in each other. The galaxy lay open before them, a canvas for new adventures and stories. The Dawn Chaser, once just a ship, had become a symbol of hope, resilience, and the power of unity. Elara, Dex, and Tarn, once strangers, were now family, ready to face whatever the stars had in store for them. As the Dawn Chaser set its course away from Tenebris, Elara, Dex, and Tarn each dealt with the aftermath of their monumental actions. The galaxy had been saved, a catastrophic future averted, but the journey had left its mark on them. Elara in particular felt a profound change within herself. The shy, uncertain adventurer who had first set foot on the Dawn Chaser was no more. In her place stood a confident, seasoned spacefarer, tempered by the trials she had faced and the choices she had made. In the quiet of her quarters, Elara reflected on the journey. The loss of the Lumarian artifact, while necessary, felt like a parting with a piece of history, a connection to a past that would now never be fully understood. She felt the weight of that loss, but also the relief of having removed such a dangerous tool from the realm of possibility. Dex joined her, his presence a comforting constant in the whirlwind of their adventure. They had grown close. Their bond forged in the fires of conflict, and solidified in the quiet moments they shared. There was a mutual understanding between them, a recognition of the strength each brought to the other. Together, they decided to mark the end of their adventure in a personal way. In the privacy of Elara's quarters, they exchanged tokens of their journey. Dex gave Elara a small, intricately carved trinket he had picked up on Zallara. while Ellara shared a rare mineral sample she had collected from the ruins. This exchange, simple yet significant, symbolized the depth of their relationship. They had started as strangers, become allies, and now stood as partners, not just in adventure, but in life. They embraced, a physical manifestation of their emotional connection, their journey together only just beginning. Later, as the Dawn Chaser approached Gavania Prime, Elara prepared for their return. The mission was over, but its impact would resonate throughout their lives. She packed away her spacesuit, the white fabric now stained and worn, a testament to the journey she had undertaken. Upon landing, they were greeted as heroes. News of their daring mission had spread, and they were met with cheers and admiration. Elara, once uncomfortable with attention, now accepted it with grace, understanding the importance of their story as a beacon of hope in a galaxy, often darkened by conflict and ambition. Elara, Dex, and Tarn said their farewells, each embarking on their own paths. Tarn returned to his people to share the wisdom he had gained, while Dex remained by Elara's side, their partnership unspoken, but understood. As Elara looked up at the stars, she realized that her journey was far from over. The galaxy was vast, filled with mysteries to explore, dangers to face, and stories to be told. She was ready for whatever adventures lay ahead, with Dex by her side and the spirit of the Lumarians guiding her. The Dawn Chaser, once a mere spacecraft, had become a home, a vessel for dreams and discovery. Elara stepped aboard, her heart full of anticipation for the new horizons that awaited. The galaxy was her canvas, and she was ready to paint her story across the stars. As the Dawn Chaser left the orbit of Gavania Prime, Elara stood beside Dex in the cockpit, both gazing out at the vast expanse of space that stretched before them. The galaxy, with its infinite mysteries and boundless adventures, seemed to beckon them forward. In this moment, the connection between Elara and Dex was palpable, transcending the physical space around them. It was as if their shared experiences had woven their lives together, creating a bond that was unbreakable. Elara turned to Dex, her eyes reflecting the stars outside. "Dex, when I started this journey, I never imagined where it would lead me," she began, her voice soft but filled with emotion. "I've found more than just adventure and answers. I've found a partner in every sense of the word." Dex looked into her eyes, his own mirroring her sentiments. "Elara, I've travelled many paths, but none as meaningful as this one with you. You've shown me what it means to trust, to hope, and to fight for something beyond myself." In the quiet of the cockpit, they shared a moment of deep understanding and affection. It was clear that their relationship had evolved from camaraderie to a profound partnership, one that was about more than just shared goals or mutual attraction. It was a union of spirits, minds, and hearts. Elara reached out, taking Dex's hand in hers. The simple act was a silent affirmation of their connection, a promise of the shared future that lay ahead. They stood together, united by their past experiences and the uncharted future. The ship's communicator beeped, breaking the moment. A new message appeared on the screen, a request for assistance from a distant planetary system facing an environmental crisis. Elara read the message, then looked at Dex, a determined glint in her eyes. "This is our next adventure," she said, a sense of purpose resonating in her voice. "Are you with me?" Dex grinned, the excitement of a new challenge lighting up his face. "Always," he replied, his hand squeezing hers. Together they plotted the course for the new destination, the Dawn Chaser responding smoothly to their commands. As the ship jumped into hyperspace, leaving behind a trail of light, Elara and Dex stood side by side, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Their journey had taught them the power of unity, the strength found in facing adversity together, and the beauty of exploring the unknown with someone who understands you at your core. They were partners, not just in the cockpit of a spaceship, but in the grand adventure of life. As the stars blurred past them, Elara and Dex looked forward with anticipation. Their story was one of countless others in the vast galaxy, a tale of courage, discovery, and love. The universe was wide and full of wonders, and they were ready to explore it together, hand in hand. The Dawn Chaser, a beacon of hope and exploration, continued its journey across the stars, carrying two souls bound by a shared destiny. Their adventures were far from over. In fact, they were just beginning. In the endless tapestry of the cosmos, Elara and Dex had found their place, side by side, their hearts beating as one with the rhythm of the galaxy.